Hi, my name is Ron Stockton. I'm 70 years old, a veteran of the Vietnam Era War, and in poor health. I have a story to tell that I think you will find rather interesting. So I hope you'll stay with me and listen to what I have to tell you. The music I have playing in the background is Coco Berthman. Now, Coco lived in Germany. She was trafficked until she was 14 years old by her mom's stepdad to a 65-year-old man that just lived down the road. She ran away, got to a clinic, got well. Well, I can't say well, but got better. Finished her national attorney for civil rights, helping to free a lot of enslaved people. You know, I really don't want to start out with scare tactics and doomsday thoughts, but something has happened that I can't quite figure out. Maybe you can, and if so, let me know, okay? Back in 2006, I began to paint pictures with toothpicks because I didn't like the way that brushes worked. I'm sure you can see some of my paintings back here, that's why I mention them. I couldn't do the detail work that I wanted with brushes, so I started using toothpicks. I was able to do the detail work that I wanted to do. Made them look a lot better. Now, if you really want to see my work, go to Toothpick Painting on Facebook and Etsy, and they're all listed there. And there's some real pretty pictures there. Everybody says how pretty they are. That makes no man feel good. But you know what makes me feel really even better? When I realize that I'm getting almost $500 each for them. That helps a lot. All right. In 2013, I developed cancer and was forced into retirement from a lucrative financial service business. And that's when I got serious about painting, and I've been doing it ever since. I started out in my youth as a preacher. I preached for 10 years and had a heart attack and had to get out of it. Then I spent 31 years in financial and retirement planning. But I digress here. That's not the story I want to tell you. I believe the information I'm about to give you is going to affect everyone in this country sooner or later. Now, some of you are going to doubt what I'm going to tell you, but it's the truth. There are plenty of people to back me up. What I am going to tell you is serious. Serious enough to declare that, well, it's a matter of life and death. And yes, it is that serious. So please listen. The Bible says that Satan is sly. He's tricky. He's a liar. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. He knows what he's doing. And this plot to bring this country down is a really good one. And it's working. Now, I'm not sure, but I think I know what he's up to. Stay with me and see for yourself if I'm right or wrong. Some things seem awful funny to me. Now, just another side note here. I want you all to know that I'm not getting paid to tell you any of this. I'm not getting paid for anything. This is all volunteer on my behalf. Okay? Now, right now, the government is making all of the citizens of this country rather nervous. The election's coming, and we don't know what we're going to get yet. Always fighting, keeping everyone tore up. And the people are afraid of losing freedom. So many people wanting socialism. It's enough to make one stick his head in the sand like an ostrich, don't you think? And everybody's paying attention to it, too. All their attention's on the government. Let me ask you a question. Could this thing with the government simply be a diversion from the real battle that Satan is fighting? Now, I ask you this because, by chance, I came across another battle that has Satan's name written all over it. And once you hear what it is, I bet you're going to wonder the same thing, because you're going to have to agree with what I'm fixing to tell you. So let me start my story. In June of 2013, I was diagnosed with cancer. Cancer is like fighting a personal war with your health. Had to have 44 radiation treatments in a row, 5 days a week, every week, until they were done. Now, by doing that, they were able to, and they said that after 5 years that I could count on it pretty much not coming back. Well, it's been 7 years now. What I wasn't expecting was all the side effects of the radiation. That came as a big surprise. Okay. I've come up with cirrhosis of the liver, failing kidneys, diabetes, 3 strokes, thyroid disease. Sometimes I think I'm eating more medicine than food. I made the 5 years, pretty pleased with that. For the last couple of years, I've been recuperating, trying to get my strength back. And I started to fiddle around with some things to keep me busy. Of course, I lost my driver's license with the 3 strokes. But now I read a lot, watch TV a lot, and I paint a whole lot. That keeps me busy. But in the last couple of years, I began to notice all these kids missing. There's on the news, on TV, and the papers, and you see it on Facebook and different places. And I was going, I wonder why. What's going on? Does that mean kids running away nowadays? Well, having made a lot of contacts when I was in business, I started asking if this was all runaway kids. And I was told, no, Ron, it's human trafficking. Now, I knew what that was, so I had a hard time believing that'd be that prominent. Another side note, before I got the cancer and was still working, one day I got this feeling that I was supposed to do something to help kids. I ignored it, of course, working and all, but it stayed with me all these years. In the last couple of years, my wife and I have talked a lot about how we really needed to do something to help the less fortunate. We've been blessed, something to help kids. And then this thing happened. I began to research human trafficking, what it is, how it works, what's being done about it. What I found out, well, it has scared me silly. I've sat up at night wondering. I've even cried over those kids that are being enslaved. Some of the things I saw was not fun. I'm sure you've all heard of it. But have you taken a close look and really investigated what is going on? You need to. I did. There were times when I wish I hadn't, but it was too late. I was hooked. Let me tell you what I found out. In 2019, there was 421,394 kids missing. In 1993, approximately 250,000 missing. That's back when they first started reporting it. Police call them runaways. Today, almost 500,000 kids are missing. That's 1,200 per day. And the United States is one of the hardest places there is to try to recover these kids because of all the technology that these criminals have available at their disposal. Okay. In the world, we've got 40.3 million kids enslaved. That's, and 71% of them's girls, young women. It's the third most profitable business for organized crime in the United States. It's $150 billion per year. Fastest growing form of international crime, $53 trillion per year. Folks, that's a lot of money. Last week, the president even announced another special counsel on this. Why? Well, Homeland Security told him that it was becoming a national security problem, which it is. A lot of people running in and out of this country grabbing our kids. Some stay here, some go overseas. Now, I'm talking about both sex and labor slaves. You see, we have found 148 different items from 75 different countries that's produced by forced child labor. When you get the time, I want you to read the Bible, Mark chapter 10 and Luke chapter 18. Read both of those chapters. This is where Jesus was going along teaching, and the people were following, had a lot of kids around, and the kids were trying to get to Jesus, and parents were holding them back. Jesus got a little bit upset with that, and he said, no, he says, let those kids get up here to me. And kids come up, he visits with them, and I'm sure he loved on them and got hugs and kisses and talked to them and showed them the kind of attention they'd love to have. And after a while, he raced up and he looked at the adults and he says, I want to tell you something. Unless you become like one of these little ones, you can't get into the kingdom of heaven. They're sinless. You can't get into the kingdom of heaven. Well, how do we get that way as adults? Through the blood of Jesus. His blood can cleanse you clean. And you can have that home in heaven. They're pure, they're sinless, and that's how God wants us. But you know, for the life of me, I can't figure this out. For the most part, we're sitting here and we're watching all these kids disappear, knowing where they're going. And it just seems to me that it isn't bothering us too much. Does it seem that way to you? When you think about it, what's our weakest point? Isn't it our children? Weakest thing that anybody could attack us with is our children. You want to get somebody, hurt their kid. Could this be Satan's real battle to bring this country down? Is he coming in the back door? Think about it. We're going to try to answer that question in the next video. Thank you for staying with me on this one. I don't want to make them very long so that you can have time to take a break. I'm going to stop right here and let you take a break, and then please come back and do video number 2. Thank you.